Dear students, our today's topic is exponential functions. Exponential functions. Students, I request you to watch this full video for maximum benefit from this lecture. Now, in this lecture, first of all, I will give a brief introduction about exponential functions, and then I will introduce to you a very fundamental exponential function, that is e, which is also known as natural exponent. So please watch patiently. Now, what are exponential functions? Suppose we have any function y is equal to a to the power x, where a is greater than 0 and a is not equal to 1. Then this function is said to be an exponential function, where a is a constant. It means, what are exponential functions? Exponential functions are functions of the form constant raised to power variable, and the condition on this constant a is that it must be greater than 0 and it must not be equal to 1. So I will give you a brief hint that why this a must be greater than 0 and a should not be equal to 1. Now, because if your a is less than 0, suppose a is minus 1 and x is 1 by 2, then you will get y is equal to minus 1 power 1 by 2, which is equal to under root minus 1. So this is imaginary. So that's why a should be greater than 0. And why a should not be equal to 1? Because if you have a is equal to 1, then your y will always be equal to 1 whatever is x, because 1 raised to power anything is 1. So these two are the conditions on this exponential function. Now, these exponential functions are different from the polynomial functions, because in polynomial function you have y equal to x square. Here you have variable raised to power some constant. Here you have constant raised to power variable. So these function of this type are not exponential function. These are exponential function. Now our main concern in any understanding of the exponential function is e. What is e? So what is e? The function, exponential function that you will most encounter is e. So what is e? E, this is also known as natural exponent. So when you will study your physics course or any other science course, you will see that all your decay rate or growth rate is mentioned in the term of e. That is natural exponent. So what is this natural exponent? From where does it come from? So I will give you a comprehensive view of this e. So please listen very carefully. So for this, let us go to the formula of compound interest. Now you know that the compound interest is, the formula for compound interest is a is equal to p 1 plus r upon n raised to power n into t. Where what is a? Where your a is future value of your money, that also include the interest that you will get. And what is your p? P is your initial or principal amount, that you are aware, but I am just repeating once again. What is r? Here r is your annual rate of interest, and it must be in decimal. By decimal I mean 100 must be written as 1. 100% means 1. In a decimal 100% means 1. What is n? This n is the number of time interest is compounded per unit time, and this is a very important parameter. So what is n? Listen again, what is n? N is the number of times interest is compounded per unit time. And what is t? T is the time in which your money is invested. Now let us take the example that I invested $100. $100 I invested in a bank. And after 1 year I get a 100% growth. 100% growth after 1 year. So by using this formula, what will be my amount? So you can put in this formula that if my n is 1, n1 means that only once the interest is compounded. So by using this formula, I will get my amount is equal to $200. $200. Now suppose I invest the same $100, but now my interest is compounded 2 times in a year. So by this formula, you will get, this is for n is equal to 1. You can check. Now suppose my n is equal to 2. So if my n is equal to 2, so you will get my amount will be $5 by using this formula. When n is equal to 2, it means I am compounding twice my money in a unit time, that is 1 year. Now suppose I compound my money quarterly, that is 4 times in a year, then what will be amount? By using this formula, you will see that you will get approximately $244 for n equal to 3. Now suppose my n is equal to 12. Every month I compounded my money, then I will get my future amount that will include interest is equal to, you can check it, $261. Now suppose there is a one very generous bank. This is for n is equal to 12. It means every month your money is compounding. Now suppose there is a very generous bank that compounded my money daily. So for that your n will be 365, because in a 1 year you have 365 days, and you will see that your amount will be approximately $271 for n is equal to 365. So what are you seeing? We are seeing that our computed value keeps getting larger and larger the more often we compute, because if we compute once in a year, we are only getting $200 from $100 at growth rate of 100%. But if we are compounding twice a year, we are getting $225. You can check this from this formula because for your compounding twice, you have to put here n is equal to 2. And if we compute it daily, that is because in a 1 year there are 365 days, then my $200 that I am getting for n equal to 1, I will get $271. So what you can see from this, that as the number of compounding increases, the compounded value appear to be approaching some fixed value, because you can see that although now my value is increasing, but the increase is slower. As I am going to larger and larger n, the value is increasing, but the increase is slower. And suppose you have n is equal to 1 million. Suppose you have n is equal to 1 million, that is n is equal to 10 to the power 6. You will find that this will converge to $271.28. 271. This will converge to something like this. This will converge to $271.828. So it does not mean that if you compound it for the smaller and smaller interval, you will get infinite money, because many people will think that if I approach my n equal to infinity, then I will get a is equal to infinity. This is not possible, and this was first of all done by Euler. What Euler did? Euler give the formula for this, because what I am doing with this formula, I am approaching my n larger and larger, and I am getting larger and larger a's. So what is the maximum value that you will get of your this compounded amount? You will get for n equal to infinity, and this was first of all proved by Euler, that limit n tends to infinity 1 plus 1 upon n raised to power n. This approaches a constant value of 2.71828, and it is irrational number, and it goes on and on and on. This is E. So this is E. So this is the origin of E. So what is E? So E is the maximum possible value after continuously compounding a 100% growth over a period of time. So what I am doing, because when I take my n is equal to infinity, so I am doing continuously compounding. So what is E? Listen again. E is maximum possible value after continuous compounding a 100% growth over a period of time. So it means whenever you compound any thing continuously over a period of time for 100% growth, you will convert to a value e. And this number appear naturally in mathematics, in sciences, like your pi appears in geometry. So this is it. That's why this e is called natural exponent. So student, I think that you are familiar with the origin of e, and I think that now you have a better understanding of what e is. So this e is very helpful to us in when we study growth rate or decay rate in physics, because in physics we frequently encounter growth rate or decay rate. And you know that all natural processes are continuous, they are not discrete or discontinuous. For example, if your height is 5 feet, you have not grown in a single day, so you have continuously grown up to 5 feet. So in nature, all the processes are continuous, and that is what we have done. We have compounded continuously. When I am doing the example of that compound interest, you can see that when I take n is equal to infinity, I have gone from discontinuous compounding to continuous compounding, because for n equal to 1, n equal to 2, I was doing discontinuous compounding. But when I take n equal to infinity, I was doing continuous compounding. So this continuous compounding is what our nature system obey. So this is very helpful to us in different branches of science and engineering. Even in economics, this is very helpful. So I will give you one or two examples from the physics. In physics, there is a very important phenomenon known as radioactivity. And radioactivity is a spontaneous emission of alpha and beta and radiation from the nuclei. So in that process, you have some nuclei decaying and some nuclei growing, and this is that radioactivity is a continuous process. And to at any instant, what are the your decayed nuclei left and what are the formed nuclei you have. So that all are given by this formula. N is equal to n naught e raised to power lambda t, and this lambda will have sign plus or minus accordingly you are studying decay or growth. If you are studying decay, then this lambda will be minus, and if you are studying growth, then this lambda will be with positive sign. So this is the physical significance of E. In physics you will encounter it everywhere. For example, you are studying decay and growth of current also decay and growth continuously. So there you will also see the equation E coming into picture. Suppose you are studying the motion of a simple harmonic motion, then you will find that your pendulum do not come to rest instantaneously. It is also a continuous process. Even in your biology, you will find that if you are growing some bacteria and you know the growth rate of that bacteria, then you can tell by using this E that after how much time how many bacteria will be grown. So this is the beauty of E. So student, I think that whenever you will face this E in your science, even in chemistry, in studying rate of reaction, you will have to have the deeper knowledge of this E. So I think that I have given you the deeper meaning that what this E means, because any exponential function that you will face, mostly you will encounter this E, natural exponent. So student, I think that my lecture is very helpful to you. So in next time we will come with some more mathematical topic. So till then, please take care of you. Thank you.